It's time.
Testing. 1, 2, testing. Don't change your channels, ladies and gentlemen. But the king of the couch is back on the motherfucking airwaves. Surprise, surprise! The king is back, motherfuckers. That's right. King of the couch is back in a big way. I'm back in a big way, in a human way, in a real way, in an emotional way, in a loving way. I'm fucking here. I'm damn glad to be here. It's been a minute. It's been a hot fucking minute since I've been on the mic. About 3 months to the day, nearly. The last episode I left you with was at episode 150. I went out on a bang with my sexy better half, Rebecca Wimsett. It was a special edition episode. You know, she joined me on the 50, the 100, the 150, and it was a great episode. And I didn't really have any intentions of hanging up the mic, but the ship just fucking went off course, went fucking haywire. And I thought, you know what? Need a little sabbatical, a little break. So that's what I did. Kind of unintentional, but that's what it turned out to be. But look, I'm back and I'm happy to be here. It has been a while. I didn't intend to be that far gone off the mic. And then it was one of those things that sort of snowballed. And then it was like, all right, I was going to get back on the mic like a month ago. And then I just never got back on the mic. And then it sort of built it up in my head like, I don't know if I know how to podcast anymore. Do I even know how to record? Do I know how to do the video? This is a new phone, so the picture might look slightly different when I'm recording the video on. I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking myself out. I'm psyching myself out. But like when history, it's like riding a bike, you know, falling off, riding a bike, all that sort of shit. And history prevails, right? I've come on, I've put the white shirt on, put the cap on because the hair needs a haircut, and hit record. We're fucking off. We're rolling. I feel good about it. So this is episode 151 of the world's greatest podcast, the King of the Couch podcast. This is kind of like a welcome back episode. Welcome to 2023. Obviously, we've done Chrissy. We've done New Year's. We've done fucking January. It's the 6th of February right now. But I haven't seen you. I haven't spoke to you in about 3 months. So I want to do a little catch-up episode. Tell you where I've been, what's been happening, some of the highs, some of the lows. But it's all life. But I genuinely mean it when I say this. Like, even though I was not thinking about podcasting, I will be honest, I hung it up. I sort of was like, I didn't worry about taking down content ideas. I wasn't worried about learning how to edit things and my fucking art stuff, the social media side of it, the monetization side of it, any of that stuff. I just put it to bed, put it to rest for a bit, just focused on myself. And I thought, you know what? I kind of miss this. I kind of miss it now. I miss the love for it. I miss the banter, the personal therapy sessions, and I miss talking to the King's men and King's women, the King's people, week to week. And I love getting those messages, and I love being able to have that banter thrown back and forth. I miss doing the merch. You know what I mean? I miss coming up with little ideas here and there. I miss fucking about with the social media. I miss fucking about with the editing. I miss fucking about with it all. So I'm back. Episode 151. Welcome to 2023. What have I been doing? It's been a long time. As I said, the last episode was with Beck. And since then, we had Christmas, which was a lovely Christmas. So I took about 2 weeks off for Christmas, and that was a big one. But we'll go back. We'll go back just a little bit because November. I can't remember the last date of the episode. I'm just having a look here. It was 11th of November, right? I will say one of the things that the show sort of came unstuck last year at the end, not because of the content. I reckon like me doing the podcast was still exceptional because I backed myself to the cows come home, and we had some great guests on last year with some really, really good ones. Off the top of my head, I had Ken from the Bronx. That was a big one for me. I love the Bronx. I think I had Mo Mayhem, a fucking friend, a blast from the past. That was a huge one for me as well. Of course, I got to have my baby mama on. That was a big one for me. We obviously did a few King Smith episodes. See, Smitty went off the airwaves for a while there too, but I think he's back too. So we'll probably end up like fucking hooking up again and doing something there. But yeah, like it was just crazy. And I don't know what happened after the Beck podcast. It just was like sort of just come unstuck. I think one thing I noticed, having a second child, this one's for the parents out there. I'm not a superhero, but I often would get praise for people that were like, oh man, I don't know how you do it, doing a podcast and like trying to be a family man and stuff like that outside your work, your 9 to 5, your grind. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think because when I started the podcast, it was something that I really, really wanted to do, right? So it was like, it came natural. It wasn't a thing. I was a bit of a night owl. I didn't sleep too much. I never really got up in the morning, so the nights were mine. It was one of those things. Over time, right, then little Oski boy comes along. He's now like 8 and something months old, so he's fucking going along. He's crawling, he's standing, he's almost walking. He's a genius child, very muscular child, great genetics. But I did notice that I was having a harder time keeping my eyes open at night, and I then sort of naturally progressed to like trying to get up earlier in the mornings. Now that did kick in after I got back to work in early Jan. So for a month, I've been relatively good at getting up like super early. We can talk about that, obviously, my routine and stuff like that. We'll get to that. But I think I used a little bit of that excuse where I was like a little bit tired at night. And frankly, look, I'll be honest, I was tired, right? I had like a second kid, I was like a single mother some nights, washing and drying, right? My routine was like do the work, go down, do the dinner, and I clean up. That was sort of my role. Beck would like do all the bathing and shit like that. I hate that. Bending over a bath, bad back, don't like it. So anyway, that was my first excuse, I think, to drop on the podcast. And then I felt like I was just, even though I know it was good, I'd start to forget to write down content ideas. And now I know you motherfuckers think, God, he just gets on there and riff. And that is true. I do riff, I do stretch, I do embellish. Sometimes I don't even let the truth get in the way of a good story. But that takes a bit of effort a week or so prior leading up to that show, writing down little bits of nuggets of information. So anyway, I forgot to do that. There was some shows I'd get to and I'd be like, oh man, I don't have any notes. So my head wasn't in the zone in that way, right? So then I just pulled a shirt out of my ass. Pretty good though. I'm having a look here. Pretty good. Some of the subjects I covered last year, pretty fucking good. With some random ones last year too. We had a random off season as well. But anyway, and then there was a big thing that happened to me in December. My pop, who got sick. This is one of those things. I wanted to jump on the mic earlier, and I don't want to get heavy straight up because it's not about that. This is a tribute, right? I wanted to get on the mic sort of around the time that my pop passed away to just sort of, do a bit of a tribute, bit of a homage. It was one of those things. But I'll be honest with you, like I just sort of, when he got sick, when there was a bit of a scenario that happened. And up until the point where he passed away, I just wanted to focus on my family. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I wanted to focus on him, and I wanted to sort of focus on myself. Just that was where it was. My thoughts were with him and my family. And then when he, God rest his soul, passed away, it was just one of those things. I just didn't feel like getting on the mic and trying to be chirpy. And it wasn't like I was depressed or anything like that. That's not the right way to explain it. But I just, again, still wanted to focus on my family. So that's where I was. But yeah, that was a big thing for me last year. My pop passing away. He was quite old. He was 89, and cancer unfortunately sort of got him there in the end. It sort of came quite quickly too. So there was a bit of a harsh reality. I didn't really get to talk about it on the podcast last year, but he basically got like 6 months to 6 to 12 months. It was like 12 months to live, sort of thing. And yeah, that was one of those things when I got the news about that definitely sort of rocked me. It was a real emotional thing, and it made me want to. I spent a lot of time with him anyway, but it really made me like put an emphasis on, fuck, you better spend some more time. So there was a lot more Brisbane trips and a lot more going down. Got them up here a couple of times, and that was nice. That was good. That I was able to spend a lot more time. But yeah, look, he was pretty crook there in the end. It sort of came quickly, got into his brain. It wasn't nice. Cancer's one of those things, like, no matter what age, it shouldn't be a thing. And I know I don't want to get down to conspiracy theory fucking wormhole this early on in the bloody podcast season, but it just shouldn't be a thing in this day and age. I know it's probably very complex, and that's probably a very ignorant and bold statement for me to say, but I just wish there was cures for that sort of stuff, because it's not a nice way to watch anybody of any age, creed, or color go. It's horrible. So so I got to spend the day before we went into hospital. I sort of found him, and we had to call the ambulance and stuff like that. And I said some things to him that I wanted to say, and it was pretty emotional. I was a bit beside myself, I'll be honest, and I had a hard time focusing on work. So I took some days off and things like that, and then yeah, just again that sort of last week with him, we just tried to spend as much time as humanly possible. And I remember I was going to Sydney on this one day, and I said to my family, like, look, like, I know Pop's unwell. I'm happy to pull the plug on going to Sydney. Everyone's like, look, just maybe play it by ear. Mate, the morning I'm like packing up, going to get on the plane to go to Sydney with my family. My mum calls me, and I just had this sick feeling like, oh, here we go. Like, this is the call. Sure enough, it was. And I was like, fuck, do I cancel the trip? Mum said, no, look, go. There's nothing you can do. And I was like, okay. Yeah, got to the airport, got on the plane, and that was it. I was sort of held it together until I got on the plane, and then the old chick up the front, well, the young chick, the fly as fuck stewardess, no pun intended, they're doing the little safety demonstration, and the waterworks hit me, and that was it. I was on the exit road, just fucking blubbering mess until we got to Sydney, and that was it. Sorry, I said something in my mouth. And that was it. Yeah, so that sort of got me, and then had a lovely weekend in Sydney, or tried to anyway, with the family, and just a lot of drinking, a lot of just trying to enjoy it, and got home, and then obviously there was the funeral and stuff like that. So it was pretty emotional for me, right? And I'll be honest, the podcast was the last thing on my mind, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. So a mixture of the kids, my time, my mind being elsewhere. I was really focused on myself for the last sort of 6 months. I will say that I was really focused on myself, and in a good way, not in like a depressed way, but just like a lot of just in my head trying to work it out. And I feel like I'm in a good place. We'll talk about that. And then yeah, my pop passed away, and we did the funeral. So look, the funeral was good. As far as funerals goes, it was good. And I will say, I don't know if anybody else has done this, but morbidly, as a talker, right? I've done a wedding speech before, probably one of the greatest best man speeches ever. You've heard of it. And I'm lucky to have done 3 of those. Morbidly, I've never spoke at a funeral. And it was always one of those things in the back of my head that I was like, I know when the day comes, I'm going to sort of want to speak at the funeral. But I was very, very lucky to have a very long history with my pop, a lot of really, really good memories from when I was really little to when, he passed away. I'm 34 now, and when I sat down at the computer to sort of type up a speech, it just sort of flowed naturally. It wasn't forced, and I had a lot of nice things to say in a lot of different ways. Some good memories there, some quotes that he left me with, some lessons and all that sort of stuff. So on the day when I was able to get up, I felt really good. Open with a joke too. Classic King of the Couch form. Open with a joke. My pop, God rest his soul, he often referred to me as custard guts, and I tell you what, it's well and truly, it's coming truer. I did have the custard guts when he was still here, but I don't know if he'd be appalled at me now, because they are more custardy than ever. So we'll talk about my weight gain too. That's lucky I've got this camera from my nipples down cut out, because I got a fucking hard gut on me now. But anyway, yeah. So I was fortunate enough to speak at the funeral, and I was able to feel like I spoke really well, and I think he'd be proud of me for getting up there and saying some of the stories, and it got a good reception as well. So as the egomaniac whatever, I felt good about it. So, but yeah, I do miss him. It was one of those things when you lose someone, it's sort of bizarre, right? In the way that that they're always there, and they always have been there, and you kind of know, even though people are passing away and they're going to pass away. I mean, we're going to pass away. This is very heavy for the first fucking podcast of the year, but you sort of don't think about it. I know you never take it for granted that I don't take it for, what I'm trying to say is I never took it for granted at the time that he was here, but I never thought about him not being here, even though I was well aware that day would probably come. So I often will still do it where I think about him. I'm looking at the podcast. We've got a bit of a new set, but I've got one of his little caps here, a little sort of flat cap with a little tartan Scottish thing and a pom pom. I obviously inherited a couple of cool things. I raided the wardrobe, got a couple of cool shirts and bits and pieces like that. My grandma gave me some stuff. The voice is drying out. You need some honey. Let me have a little quick sip of OJ. Joined by a sugary nature's beverage, OJ. But yeah, lost my train of thought. Fuck, what an amateur. Lost my train of thought. But here we are. We're going to keep rolling. Can't remember where I was going with that. What the fuck was I saying? Yes, you never think that they're not going to be there. So now I sort of sometimes I'll wake up and I'll think about them. Like, oh yeah, I can't call them. I can't call them for a beer, and do that sort of stuff like I used to. So never took it for granted, and I was super, super grateful and just super stoked that I was able to spend so much time with him, have so many good stories to reminisce on, so many good memories, and just that, I was proud of him, and I know he was proud of me as well. So I even got to say the big L word to him. That was a thing. And as a man, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to this, but the LOVE word, love, that could be a hard one to say to other males if you're not that way inclined. Now, I think me and my friends, we often say it to each other, not like in a real lovey-dovey way, but we make sure that, my best friends and stuff like that, like they know that I love them, and I think, and vice versa. I like to think I make it clear, right? They're all the same, but in my family, it was just an old school thing, but the L word's not really dropped a hell of a lot. So I did make sure I said it to him on the deathbed, so to speak. And I said, when I was going one day, I got down with him, because he's quite weak and stuff like this at this time. I said, I love you, Pop. And he turned to me and he just goes, and I like you too. And got a bit of a roar, and I thought that was just quintessential Angus W. Catchpole. So it was cool. It was great that I could fucking do that. So that knocked me for 6, but in an okay way, and I'm back. It's all good. So rest in peace, Pop. I do miss you, and we will catch up again on the other side. Hopefully in like 80s. He was 89, so hopefully fucking I make those old bones as well. And it was Christmas and work, career's been on my mind. It's just been one of those things. But I thought I have to rip the Band-Aid off. Come back. It's episode 151. This is the comeback. This is like the I want to say the new version of the King of the Couch, because it's just the new year, but the same old king, right? And the heavy glow. I got a nice tan. You probably can't tell here, but I got a really nice tan and a really huge stomach. Christmas came. It was great. Took 2 weeks off at Christmas. It was amazing. Loved it. Probably, I'll be honest, one of the first holidays in a very, very long time where I did not think about work one single minute of the day. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't answer any calls. Didn't answer any emails. I didn't care, actually, and I don't care who knows it. I didn't care, but that was my goal. Don't give a fuck about work, because work had been stressing me out about it. Just one of those things. I felt like my career was a little bit out of my control at that point, and thought, you know what? I'm going on holidays. I don't want a fucking bar of work. I just want to hit it hard. Food, family, booze, sun. That's seriously what I did. I got tanned, I got loved up, and I got fat. Super fat. Factually, I actually weighed myself yesterday, 83.7 kilos. You probably can't fucking tell looking here because you're looking at the top part of my body, the tight part. But Jesus Christ, probably the heaviest I've ever been. Actually, I may have been 89 kilos once, which was super fucking fat, and I was like 21. But before I lost all my weight, I wasn't even that heavy. I must have been around the 80K mark. So this is just evidence of purely having a fucking good time. Nothing else. I can't put it down to anything else, but you ate some awesome food and you drank a lot of awesome booze. That's it. I'm not even mad about it. I actually come to a realization probably in the last couple of weeks too, 2 or 3 weeks, that I was like, you know what? This is my body too. I just started walking around a lot, shirtless a lot more. I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit down, hunch over, the guts there, tits, looks like Homer Simpson's face. But I was like, you know what? That's my fucking body. I don't give a fuck, right? I can do something about it to change it, or I can just leave it the way it is. At the end of the day, the more beer I had, the prettier I drunk myself anyway. So it was okay. So I would just take my shirt off after like 10 beers. You know what I mean? Shirts. I was never wearing 2 shirts at once. Summer in January is no joke. 1 shirt. I actually put a shirt on tonight. I've got no fan, no aircon on it tonight. You can't see it. There's a light perspiration across my forehead. But, got super fat and just loved myself for it. Thought, fuck it. It's the people around you that have a problem with it more so than you. You know what I mean? These people, they turn it on you, right? So anyone out there that's fully loving themselves sick, loving their big fat body sick, or fucking tiny skinny body, everyone's got a problem with something, right, on their body. That's the thing, right? So I just was trying to come from a point of loving myself more. I thought, you know what? This is the body. This is the skin I'm in. And I'm just going to fucking wear it until I do not want to wear it anymore. I work out, lift some weights, I run a bit, you know what I mean? We've been doing that as well. We'll get to that, but thought, fuck that, you know what I mean? Love yourself. I can sit here beat myself up every day, but then I'm not doing something about it. What's the point? I thought, nah, got to get easier on myself here. So, yeah, love where I'm at, and definitely a little bit portly, but whatever. I can change it. Don't give a fuck. So anyway, that was Christmas. Christmas was good. We had a lovely 4 days down at Palm Beach. Thanks for asking. The brother-in-law, sister-in-law, they've just got a little pad I said little, a spanker, a sub penthouse at Palm Beach down at the Goldie. We weren't going to go. We were just one of those things. I didn't really think about it. And then I was like, fuck, why are we not going? So we packed up and legged it. We were down there for 3 nights, 4 days. And I'm fucking glad I did. We had some exceptional wine, exceptional drinks, exceptional food. Some of the best food I've ever had. And then just the prime real estate. Walk out onto the beach from the back door. It was amazing. I've never been that close to the beach in my life in a house, right? I've lived near the beach. We had a road there. No, this was bang, out the door onto the beach. Every morning, I rolled out of bed, straight down the ocean, just marched down like a god, and just in there like a freaking merman. And I loved it. I was better for it. And that was it. You feel better in the ocean. Hey, I don't know if you can tell, but looking at my nose here, obviously rosacea was some sort of quite annoying disability of the skin that I battled for some time. But looking here, and anyone watching at home, looking at my face, it is a lot less red in the nose, a lot less Rudolphy. So I'm stoked about that. And I put it down to, right, you know what it was? When I was down at Palm Beach, just sinking booze, eating food, having a good time, not stressing about work, that was one factor. Second factor was I forgot my face wash. I forgot my face moisturizer. And after like 2 or 3 days, I was like, hang on, my face looks pretty good here. And I haven't put shit on it. I've just been sun, salt, surf, booze, food, love. That's all I was doing to it, right? Rubbing that in every day. So I was like, you know what? When I come home, I'm like, I'm just not going to put any moisturizer and stuff on it. Tried it a couple of times. I was like, yeah, it's okay, but didn't do too much. I haven't put moisturizer on it today. I shaved yesterday. I washed my face and moisturized it yesterday when I shaved. But honestly, for the whole month of January, my goal has been, the whole year actually, is like get into the beach every day and just get salted the fuck up, get in some sun, and then if you want to wash your face, do it. If not, I just come home, cold water in the shower. That's it. Don't even moisturize it, right? And look, my skin hasn't cracked. It's nice in this weather. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it sick. I'll be honest. I do love it. Touch wood, it stays like that. But yeah, that was it. So Palm Beach was sick. New Year's Eve was sick. I don't really give a fuck about New Year's, but probably one of the best New Year's I've ever had. Just fucking loving it. Just family time. Beck ripped my shirt. I'll be honest, I was pretty fucking miffed about that for a hot minute. We got that fixed for $20. That was good, thank God. I was one of my favourite shirts. Seriously, I'm going to wear it to fucking Perth on Friday night. Going to Perth too. I'll talk about that later. Whew. So yeah. And then rolling on into January. It's a new year, 2023. New year, new me. Not new year. Well, new year, new me for some. New year, same king for me. So I was happy about that. Still just fat and merry and getting tanned. More tanned. My birthday on the 18th. Beck's birthday on the 8th of January. I love birthdays. We don't really do Christmas presents, but we do birthday presents. Now, financially, always sweating around the 5th of January night. I've got to get Beck sorted. I had no money. Boys, I've talked about financially a lot of stuff on this show before. I didn't have any money. Frankly, I didn't. I had to cash in a check that I got from the bank of mum. A 33-year-old man. I called my mother and said, can you do me a favor? I made a little sort of half a lie. I was like, look, I don't want Beck to see the accounts. We've got joint accounts. That was 50% of it. But also, could you pay for the presents because I don't have the money. But I will have it in 10 days when I get paid again. So that was all good. She sorted me out there. And Beck had a lovely little birthday day spa thing. She hasn't used it yet. A new bag, some new shoes, a lovely little Italian dinner, which was great. Just an amazing event. It was an amazing birthday. But I always feel a bit inferior when it comes to birthdays. I'm like, I don't have enough presents and this and that. So that's a big thing for me to get rich because I just want to shower her with more presents, more presents, right? She's like, no, you've done well. I will say, Beck's present giving leaves a little bit to be desired. And we did have a bit of a chat about this, I will say. Probably had this stroppy, ungrateful look on my face at my birthday. So when I turned 34 this year, woke up, great morning, down at the beach, loving it. That's my new routine, beach every morning. Didn't get this morning. Day hasn't been as good because of it. It's been a great day, but just when you get that beach in there, it's amazing. Anyway, I hadn't hadn't been home more than 2 seconds. The kid's going to give you the presents. They're excited. I had in my head what Beck was going to get me. I thought she was going to get a ticket to Knotfest Australia, right? The Slipknot Festival, Parkway Drive, Mega Drive. Super looking forward to that. Before I've even opened my presents, this is never good when you're getting a warning like, hey, just by the way, I haven't got you that Knotfest ticket. So immediately I was like, okay. Mood's lowering. And she was like, I couldn't log into my ticket tech. So what I thought was, you log into your ticket tech and you buy it with our money. And I was like, have you not heard of reset password? Anyway, a little bit ungrateful there. And then I opened the presents and she got me a Thrills shirt, which I do like Thrills, but it wasn't the one I picked out. So I was like, okay. And then she got me these shorts, which I'd never seen in my life. And I was like, okay. And some undies. And I was like, okay. I could buy undies if I need undies. Undies to me, ladies and gentlemen, unless it's lingerie for your girl because you're a horn dog and you want to see her looking sexy, I think undies for boys, men, not really a great present. Necessities, yes, we need them, right? But I could buy them myself. I will say, honestly, from there, I was having a hard time with underpants. I've sort of stopped wearing underpants a lot of the time. Right now, I'm not wearing underpants. I'm just sitting here in a nice pair of Ruka joggers, just me, cloth, bang, rubbing, sheath, armor. It feels good. It feels good. I will say, though, undies are crucial for droplets of wee-wee and poo-poo stink. So they do play a part, but they also manipulate your balls and they twist and stuff. It's just, I don't know. Just saying. So I'm still navigating that out. 34 years of age, I'm trying some new stuff. Free balling, the kids call it. Anyway, so I was a little bit ungrateful. It was honestly about a really rough 30 to 60 minutes in the house that morning, but come good, apologised. It was okay. I was being a little bit facetious. As it was, I went and returned all the goods and got a new shirt and a new pair of board shorts that I actually wanted. So that was cool. She was cool. We have this thing. She returned a pair of shoes. I got it too because they're a bit flimsy. High-end shoes. They don't make them like they used to. Just flimsy pieces of shit. So I didn't care about that. I'd rather someone return it and get what they want and then put it in the closet. Remember you used to do that back in the day when your mum would get you a shirt? I remember my mum got me this shirt that was like this purple. To this day, purple's still like my most hated color. I don't know what this shirt. It was like a deep-seated like PTSD memory from childhood. But purple, hate it. But it was a purple button-up and the buttons were like wood, like cork. Definitely not wood. It was like cork, but to look like wood. It was just like some retarded ass looking Mambo knockoff, but wasn't good. And it was one of those ones, and I think, you coined it from a very young age. You when you don't want to wear something, you tell the people, you go, this is a special occasion shirt. This one, Mum's going, you could wear that next week. And I go, Mum, honestly, that occasion, subpar. This shirt deserves a very special occasion. So, needless to say, never wore that shirt, not once. So, from a very young age, I thought, if someone doesn't like what you give them, go and change it. I don't want to see something sitting in the wardrobe. So anyway, that's what me and Beck do. We're pretty good. We're pretty good like that. So my birthday was good. Her birthday was good. I returned to work for 2023. That was a slog. Whew. It's hard coming back after a great 2 weeks off. Blessed I work at home and stuff like that. I do miss the social interaction. I will say that's a big thing at the moment for me. But it was just like coming back in summer. It's hot. The weather's mint. You're like, what am I doing here? Why am I not out there just like flipping crypto on the beach? And anyway, so that could be an avenue I go down, but just not on the cards right now. But I was just really, really slow to get back into work, if I'm honest. And if my boss ever listens to this, then so be it. But man, it was just a hard slog for 2023. People are like coming back. They're like, you know what I mean? People are just like, oh man, how good was holidays? They were fucking sick. I put on fucking 50 kilos of beer weight. Now I'm back. What do I do? That was my half the thing is like your fingers, I type. My fingers forget how to type. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And then, of course, you get a reset password thing from the fucking network. And you're like, oh man, who do I contact about this? Is there an administrator here? I don't know. So it's just one of those things where I was like, yeah, didn't miss this, don't want to be here, and I'm back, I'm here, I'm grinning and bearing it, and I hate it. So work's been going well, but Actually, work's been interesting. It's been crazy. I had to catch up with my boss, and I never talk about career, but career changes have been on the cards. I'll say that much. But a couple of job offers, looking at a couple of different things. Financially, times are tough. It's crazy at this point. Very, very crazy. 2023 is the year of the fucking interest rate hikes. I didn't even fucking buy. I don't own a home. I rent. I thought, man, rent is fucked. It's gone up. I know some poor cunts out there. Their houses have just gone through the roof, like month after month, month after month. The payments are up like $1,000, $1,500 extra a month. Mine went up like $360 a month. I was like, ugh, don't like that, but I like that better than 1,000. So financially, feel a bit strapped to the point of I've even looked at getting a second job on top of maybe a new job that gives me more money. But it's like the daycare fees, the rent's gone up, food is fucking expensive. Everything is just going up and it's not coming down. But it's okay. If there's a will, there's a way. There's more money out there. Universe, bring it into me. We're very lucky. A lot of people help us out. We get gifted a lot of stuff, which is good. I just at that point in my life where I'm like, I want more, I deserve more, I can get more. And that's kind of where my train of thought is. I'm going hard on certain things, right? We will explain more as more things come up, but very much looking for food to the point of food. I love food, but money, right? Very much looking for more money, and to the point where I'm like, look, I'm entertaining a second job, trying to find extra income and stuff like that. I do get mad embarrassed though about looking for a second job. Beck's like, it ain't nothing to fuck with. Just do it, right? I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, just the idea that like I'm 34 years old, I'm making as much money as I've ever made, and I have no money at the end of paycheck. I've got more month than money at the end of the fucking pay. So yeah, interesting times. But I know in here I'm smart, and I know that there's opportunity out there, and things will come my way. So we're looking. Anyone listening to this, you think, oh, that guy sounds cool, he could be part of this awesome company that I've got going on here. Reach out, whatever. But and sponsors, we're back. 2023, we're back. So we're looking for sponsors. You know what I mean? Give me some money. I'd like that. Give me some beer. Give me some cloth, some clothes, something to wrap my balls in, so I can't seem to find underpants that I like. I don't care what it is. I'll do it. I'll sell out pretty quick. But yeah. So financially, it's crazy. We'll talk about that actually when I come on. Do I talk about it now? Actually, we'll talk about it now. We'll talk about it when I get back on it. It'll be crazy. We did a thing the other night. I'm in the School of Mastery, my friend Lewis Mocker's course. I'm in that, and that was really cool. And that shows us a lot of shit. And one thing that he said he did, and I'm not going to give everything away, but one thing I will share with you that was interesting for me. I'd never done this, and I would even think about doing this. Go into your bank, download all your transactions for a month, right? We use January, for example, and then you put the amounts on largest to smallest. You can do it however you want. We basically then went one further and like color coded everything. So people was like, okay, this is food, this is social, this is booze, this is bills, this is fuel, whatever the fuck it was. We leveraged it out. We moved it out, hedged it out, fleshed it out. And it was interesting. So for example, we put $700 aside for groceries each month. And how much money did we spend on food in the month of January? $2,500 on food. I was like, wow, that's a lot more than $700. Now, I will say $931 of that was social. There was birthdays in there. We had holidays in there. That's not typical for us, right? So, okay, cool. Chalk that down to January just being a hella sick month. But then there's another $700, $800 on top that I'm like, that's just pure groceries. So it made me sit back and go, oh, okay. Well, maybe when I think that what we're doing on our budget here is not actually correct. So we need to up it and be more realistic with it, right? So I think what the problem was, we were getting paid. You're paying out a fucking buttload of money and going, it's all covered for, it's all catered for. We got $700, $800 left. Bang, bang, bang. Everything's paid. But you get to halfway through your pay and you're like, we've got no fucking food. We need nappies. You forgot about the afterpays. $744 in afterpays last month. That was another thing. You know that you don't have the money there, so you afterpay it. But then you forget that you don't have the money there when the payments need to come out. Or they do come out and you're like, where the fuck damn money going? So I think if anyone's having an issue, even if you're not, it's good to see where your money's going. I found it a really interesting exercise. Beck was a little bit depressed about it afterwards. I was not. I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I saw that we spent $10,000 in January and we made $7,500 in January. And it was like, where do we get $2,500 from? You rob it from different accounts you got. You rob it from a little bit of credit. It's no way to live. So it was good, eye-opening. Another thing is going through and reducing expenses by 10%. So car insurance was the first one off the first cab off the rank, and there's a lot of other shit. So I'll talk to that more as I've actually done it. I don't want to say I'm doing things when I haven't physically done it. The transaction thing, that was very interesting though, very very interesting. So yeah. Anyway, share that with you. So financially, a little bit fucked, but we're gonna be okay. I feel good. I feel good in my heart, right? So that's a bit of an update for me. What else has been happening? I'm looking at here. Oh, we had good. I will say this is a great story. My son Oscar, he's one of the goats. I'm just gonna have a drink, OJ. Yeah, my son Oscar, one of the goats. I was out shopping for mummy's birthday present on the 5th, 6th of January. I take him to the shops with me, right? So naturally I'm going into these girly sort of shops. There was Seed, there was Maya. I'm around. But the amount of women that come out of the woodwork when they see a baby, especially a really handsome looking son like my son, oh man, it's amazing. This one lady, she was quite good looking, I will say. The ego, honestly, went straight to my head. I was like, "Are you complimenting me here?" She comes out. I'm there looking at fucking handbags and all sorts of bullshit. She comes around the corner and she goes, "Is that some little feet I see there?" And I'm like, "They're a size 8, but thanks for noticing." As I look down, though, Oscar's little baby feet are sitting in the pram. And I was like, oh, great, she's talking to him. And he come, and I was like, "Yes, they are little tiny baby feet. Come over and have a look at them if you want." She come right over, smitten with him. She was like, "Oh my god, he is so cute, so handsome. He's smiling, he's playing the game." And I was like, "Fucking hell!" I was like, "This kid's like a fucking an oyster." You know what I mean? They're just people are flocking to him, right? Happened again. I saw another lady in Seed. She was like, "You're a great father. That son is to die for." Now, I saw you in Maya and I seen you here. I'm like, this lady's stalking me now. Either because of me or Oscar. I couldn't tell. But everywhere I looked, bang. I had to call a friend because a friend had told me that when he takes his kids on the train, women just like look at him, flock to him. He gets all sorts of smiles and stuff like that. They talk to him. They're talking to the kids. And I said, man, I stopped. I had to go into a quiet corridor of the shops. I had to call him. I said, "Was that you that told me about this female flocking situation with the kids around?" He was like, "Yes." I was like, "Dude, it's ridiculous. I'm in the shops 1 hour. I have had 3 women stop me." Couldn't believe it. So I'm saying if Beck ever kicks my ass to the curb, Oscar, we're going out. Because you, my friend, are a freaking golden goose. But he's a great kid beyond that. Great kid beyond that. Anyway, looking around here, just looking at my list. So much has happened. We had the Oz Open. Not Nadal. What's the guy? Joker. Novaks, they call him. Wasn't allowed to play last year. He said, "You know what? You can jam your needles where the sun don't shine." And I think the greatest thing, he stuck it to them by coming out and beating everybody at the Oz Open. Bill Gates was in attendance. He would have been pissed about that. He loves the needles. He loves a vaccine. Loves a plant-based burger. Don't really like Bill Gates. Like Windows, like Microsoft. It's a great program to use, but Bill Gates, whatever. So that was pretty cool. Oz Open. I even tried to watch some tennis. I reckon I clocked up about 45 to 50 minutes across the whole tournament. That was pretty good. We had the World Cup late last year. Very stoked about the World Cup. Very stoked about the World Cup. I played soccer growing up. I don't watch any soccer now. Something about the World Cup, though. I was really, really smitten with the World Cup. I watched a lot of games. I was getting up early. It was great. I think that's actually, to be honest, that's where I planted the seed for my new health kit. Getting up early. There was the 1 a.m. games, the 3 a.m. games, the 5 a.m. games. I was up. Fucking loved it. Loved it. Who won that? Argentina. Leo Messi. Lionel Messi. The commentators were calling him Lionel. Like Lionel Messi. I was like, it's Lionel. Like Lionel Richie. It's not Lionel Richie. Anyway, who am I now? I could be an uncultured beast, but I doubt that very much. World Cup. That was great. We had the Kanye West controversy. Kanye. Oh my God. Nice guy. He's just losing the plot. They keep banging on about mental health and stuff like that. Could be. I don't know. Is it? Some of the shit he says, I go, that's not that bad. You got to look at the stuff that's taken out of context too, like the snippets. You could listen to my whole show and just hear the shit where I say something for shock value, but haven't seen the fucking paragraph leading up to that. So I'd try to not always look at the sensationalized bullshit the media throws around. Now, Kanye, don't mind some of his music. Don't like it all. Some, okay. Most, not. But he did say some crazy shit. Yeah. did say some crazy shit. Quite anti-Semitic, which again, neither here nor there for me. I'm not a Jew, so it didn't really fall on my head. Didn't really care. But then he comes up with some shit about Hitler and how Hitler was a pretty good guy and stuff like that. You're kind of asking for trouble. You know what I mean? Think that in the privacy of your own home if you're that way inclined. But you're asking for trouble. But he did say some interesting stuff, right? That there was one thing I saw that came out of the whole thing, which maybe is this like that Leo DiCaprio Shutter Island end scene where you're like, are you crazy, or have you just manufactured this whole thing so you get the lobotomy and you're not crazy? Spoiler alert there too if you haven't seen Shutter Island. That's what I was thinking about Kanye. I was like, is he crazy or is he just playing crazy to get out of a whole bunch of shit because he's like crazy's gonna pay off? And I think that's what he did. I think he played crazy in a lot of things, right? You say some shit about Hitler, it's like, yeah, like straight up, like easy, get out of it sort of thing. Yeah, Hitler, top bloke. Yeah, not bad. Enjoyed his work. Doesn't sound good, right? Doesn't sound good. But with Kanye, like he had that Adidas deal, and there's a whole bunch of deals, and I saw this little snippet online that was like, I just got out of one of the biggest contracts in the world in the fastest way possible without even having to fucking have a conversation directly with them. It was crazy. They just tore it up, the Adidas thing. Bang, bang, bang. But anyway, he's not a billionaire anymore apparently, so I don't know how that works if he's gone, oh shit. But he seems like one of these guys that like sometimes I think he's got like the best interest of himself and humanity at heart, and then other things he just comes out with and you're like, whew, Mr. West, pump the brakes, dude. A little bit more rapping, some cool shoes, whatever. Anyway, Kanye West, whatever. Who knows what's happened to him? I don't know where he is. He's pretty chilling out. He's a billionaire. Well, he was a billionaire. He must be a multi-millionaire. Just enjoy yourself, Kanye. Just chill, man. You got kids, right? Have a good time with them. Pantera got back together. Now, there was a Pantera reunion. Some say tribute. Some say it was a travesty. I, myself, as a huge Pantera fan, I'll go and see it. If they come to Australia, I'll go and see them. We had Zakk Wylde stepping in for Dimebag Darrell, and you have Charlie Benante from Anthrax stepping in for Vinnie Paul. The Abbott brothers, they're dead. God rest their souls. You still had Phil Anselmo on vocals and Rex Brown on bass. Now, I can't blame them. They were key members of Pantera too. Zach and Dimebag were best mates. It was a great way to get the band back together. In my life, someone that loves Pantera, I'm never going to see Pantera the way I want to see Pantera. So this is like a thing I'd have to deal with. Anyway, so that happened. One thing I've put here, this is a bit mental here. They wouldn't show the Russian flags at the Australian Open. I did think that was a bit off. And people go, ooh, that's insensitive of Ukraine. Yes, maybe. But if you're a Russian player at an international event and the flag, it's like this fucking big, just bang, just put it there. What's the big deal? By me seeing Medvedev's flag, I wouldn't go, yeah, I'm down with Russia. It's just what it is. Like, he's from Russia. We know. The name Medvedev screams Russian. So I don't need to like see a little blank flag. So I just thought that was a bit bizarre. People might think I'm crazy there, but I just thought that was bizarre. The other thing that was crazy, and this was something I really did want to talk about at the time, but it sort of has gone from the airwaves now. But there was if you're in Australia, there was a shooting in Chinchilla. The whole case was very weird, very, very weird as fuck. I'm having a look here, right? So it was a love triangle, right? There was two brothers and a chick. One brother married the chick, had some kids. Then she fucked off years later with the other brother, and they lived out on a property in Chinchilla. Now, all of a sudden, the brother that's been fucking doghouse, he's out living with them too. He's gone missing for like a year, but he wasn't presumed missing for like 11 months. What's up with that? There was a love triangle. Are they both boofing this chick? They got a bit of a brother thing going on here. The father was religious. It was very hardcore pastor. Religion, you know my thoughts on religion. It's a weird, grey, weird area, right? He didn't like the missus or something like that. That's going on. Where are the kids? Where are the kids in all this? Where are they doing? So the guy's like not even fucking pronounced missing for like 11 months, but now he's missing. And the kids, where are the kids? Are they with the grandparents? Are they with babysitters? Why is no one asking about the kids? Turns out old mate that was on the property is a doomsday prepper, right? So he's worried about the end of the fucking world. He's on all these like fucking groups being like, yeah, my property is fucking a lockdown, this and that. And then they've sent two poor young cops, man and a female, out to investigate this like missing persons sort of case. And they'd set an ambush up. Again, God rest these police officers' soul. But like, What was up with the chinchilla shooting? Bizarre. Anyway, I'm rambling here tonight. This was a comeback episode, not one of my greatest episodes, but I'm back nonetheless. What am I doing this weekend? I will tell you. This is a little quick insight to what I'm doing this weekend. I'm off to Perth for the first time ever. Never been to Perth, Western Australia. What up? I'm from the East, baby. Going to UFC 284. Very excited. Me and the missus, Jordan and Amelia Grives, we're all going. Double date action. Big couple of spectacles for me. First time in Perth. First time trip without the kids. A little bit nervous there, if I'm honest, for the babysitters, but it'll be okay. Staying at the Crown. We're going to all the fucking mental places, right? We've got the Champions Package, the meet and greet, the front row seats. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. I want to talk about it. I don't want to gush. So next time I'm on the podcast, we'll do a UFC 284 breakdown. I miss the UFC breakdowns, but I don't watch as much anymore with the kids and shit like that. So I'm going to do a breakdown, tell you about my weekend in Perth. It'll be great. I'll be back Monday. Actually, I'll be back Tuesday next week, with or without a guest, potentially. My old mate Jared wants to get back on the mic, so we might break it down together. But I'll be in Perth till late Monday. We'll be back till Tuesday. So the podcast will be a day later next week. But I'm very, very excited about that. But at the end of the day, ladies and gents, I'm glad that I'm back on the airwaves. King of the Couch is back. For how long? I do not know. But I will be here, and I will be spreading my filth, spreading my wisdom, sharing some insights into my life, and just honestly here to help, here to make you think, here to make you laugh, here to make you with me if you must. Reach out. I love talking to you. I love questions. We'll put out some questions to the interweb soon, but apologies for anyone that missed me over the 3 months. There was some people that did send me some messages. I thank you for that. Made me feel very good and warm and fuzzy inside. But I'm back. I've knocked the dust off this mic. I've knocked the dust off my fucking charisma. And we're back. So 151. That's in the can. The comeback season. The comeback episode, baby. Next week I'll be back. We'll get into the regular scheduled program. I think got Smitty on the blower soon. We'll do a little catch-up episode with Smith. See what the fuck he's been doing. See what I've been doing. We'll get up and talk some shit. Jared's coming back on the podcast. I got a couple of guests there in the wings that I had lined up and then just sort of let go cold because, you know, I'm a family man. I was focusing on myself. That's what I was doing. But I'm back and I feel good about it. You know, new phone. Sorry. Now I've got to learn how to fucking edit again. This should be fun. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to me tonight and forever. Anyone that's been with me from the get-go, even you people, get-go, it doesn't matter. I appreciate your ears. I never take it for granted. But anyway, I'm the king of the couch. You have a great week, and I love you all.